Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with Hand of Fate 2. This is a dungeon crawler set in a dark fantasy world. Here you'll try to master a living board game, where every stage of the adventure is drawn from a deck of legendary encounters chosen by you. So choose wisely your opponent. The enigmatic dealer will try to make you feel helpless and pathetic. People on Steam are saying that the combat is a bit clunky, but the atmosphere, art style, and the narration of the game makes Hand of Fate really enjoyable and fun. Although keep in mind that the game is kinda difficult, also heavily based on luck. You know, it's a card game after all, and that may be frustrating if you have an unlucky day when everything falls apart. So before playing, throw a coin into the air 3 times and try to guess heads or tails. If you'll be correct at least 2 times, play the game. Luck is with you today.
And what if this was the last drop of luck? What if guessing heads or tails right was the luckiest thing that happened today?
Well, in this instance, I'll think you'll know that you are screwed right away. Game is not forgiving. Nioh Complete Edition. This game, as you probably already know, is a third-person Souls-like action RPG. You play as a lone traveler in the age of samurai who lands on the shores of Japan. You must fight your way through the vicious warriors and supernatural creatures that infest the land in order to reach your destination. The Complete Edition contains the full game and 3 expansions with additional story chapters. People are jokingly saying that in this game you are Vibu Geralt, and as with the Witcher game, you just have to play Nioh with a gamepad.
Or you will suffer even more.
Yeah, the game is Souls-like, remember? By the way, in 2021, Nioh Complete Edition was free on Epic, so you might have it already if you were used to taking free goodies from there. Sunset Overdrive. Here the Sunset City is under siege. A contaminated energy drink somehow has transformed most of the population into toxic mutants. For many it's the end of the world, but for you it's a dream come true. Your old boss? Dead? Your boring job? Gone? Yeah, sounds like a wet dream of every office worker. Although my advice would be to search for not boring job with a nice boss. I know, it's easier to tame a unicorn than that. Hell, what I'm talking about, it's easier to find a League of Legends match with non-toxic randoms. Anyway, here you'll transform the open world around you into your tactical playground by grinding, vaulting and wall running across the city while using devastating, unconventional arsenal. The game presents itself as an open world with no rules. Run along walls, leap off buildings and grind power lines and rails to destroy your foes from every angle. Review score is around 90%, so if you like what you see, you know what to do. 8-bit Invaders. Remember all the Lovecraftian movies where bodies are merging with each other? You know, like The Thing, The Fly or Annihilation with Natalie Portman. So if StarCraft and Minecraft were protagonists in such a Lovecraftian movie, 8-bit Invaders would be their merging result. See, you can always think of something better than just a cliché about
if StarCraft and Minecraft had a baby.
So this is a fast-paced RTS, a very colorful strategy arcade game that it's easy to learn for players of all skill levels. Collect resources, build up and defend your base, amass your army of tanks and starships, and ultimately crush humans with your metal tentacles, or show aliens who's the boss here. You'll find 24 campaign missions, 10 co-op missions to play with your mother-in-law, destructible environments, and you know who the composer is? Frank Klepacki, the same dude who created music for Command & Conquer 27 years ago, when he was 17. Yeah, I will keep repeating this fact. And if you feel that this 8-bit setting is appealing to you, keep in mind that you can also find 2 more games, 8-bit armies that are made with the fans of Command & Conquer in mind, and 8-bit hordes that can be appealing to Warcraft fans. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. Here you'll go after a rogue god over land and sea, captain your ship on a dangerous voyage of discovery across the vast and explored archipelago region of the Deadfire. Also, have you noticed how all the names in fantasy games and books have some doomy and gloomy meaning?
Region of Deadfire, lands of crying souls, mountain of doom, sea of sorrow, forest of banshee screams,
and so on. Well, in the real world, all those places would probably have way less terrifying names given to them by locals, such as
Region of Rocks, Land of Dirt, the Volcano, Sea of Water, and Forest of Pedophiles.
Yeah, this is an exception. Way more terrifying than Forest of Banshee Screams, to be fair. Don't go there for any reason. Anyway, all the names are way less poetic in the real world. So in Pillars of Eternity 2 you will bend the world to your will, as you explore the depths of infinite possibilities, including detailed character customization and total freedom of exploration. People on Steam comments are saying that the second part has more interesting quests and activities than the first one. Well, it's for you to judge. The Dark Pictures Anthology, House of Ashes. Here, at the close of the Iraq War, special forces hunting for weapons of mass destruction unearth something far deadlier, a buried Sumerian temple containing a nest of creepy creatures. To survive the night below, they must forge a brotherhood with their enemies from the world above, and only your decisions will influence how the story will unfold. Basically, I can guarantee that nothing good will ever happen with you behind the wheel. Everyone will die horribly and you are the one to blame. But hey, that's the beauty of this game, you can replay it and make different, probably way worse decisions next time.
ULTRAKILL.
Now we are getting serious. This game is always among the top 20 best rated games on the whole Steam, and that is among tens of thousands of games. It's ridiculous how good this game is.
ULTRAKILL
is a fast-paced, ultra-violent, old-school first-person shooter. It fuses together classic shooters like Quake and modern shooters like Doom Eternal with character action games like Devil May Cry. Here mankind has gone extinct and the only beings left on Earth are machines fueled by blood. And now that blood is starting to run out on the surface and machines are racing to the depths of hell to search for more. Total nonsense, but I like it. People on Steam describe this game quite politely. They say this is a Doom Eternal if it was on crack and also on heroin. And I would add that playing
ULTRAKILL
it's like eating potato salad, except if you dry it out and snort it. You can try the demo version on Steam if you have any doubts. Nobody saves the world. When an ancient calamity reawakens, who can save the world? And the answer is nobody. That's you. You are nobody. Not in real life. In real life, you are an awesome, beautiful person. Never doubt that. Now, subscribe. So here you'll master the art of transformation to become a slug, ghost, dragon, a horse, or someone else. Like an egg, for example. Actually, here you'll find more than 15 distinct forms you can become of. You can mix and match abilities in unexpected ways to unlock and complete even more challenging quests. You can explore a vast overworld on your own or with a friend online. This game is not only beautifully drawn, but it's kinda crazy as well, just like your sister. Assassin's Creed Unity. Game is set in the city of Paris during one of its darkest hours. The French Revolution is in action. Here you will do all the usual Assassin's Creed stuff and take part in one of the most important moments of French history by participating in the events that shape the city of today. If the game's franchise would be naming its titles by numbers, this would be Assassin's Creed 8. So yeah, they have been baking these like cookies for almost 2 decades now. But keeping in mind that Assassin's Creed Unity is more than 10 years old, the graphics are quite impressive and the gameplay is enjoyable despite some minor control issues. The biggest issue whatsoever is that it requires the Ubisoft launcher, and if it is down, you can't play the game. Also, the co-op feature that is kinda famous here is plagued with connection bugs and errors. It's a nice game, but I have warned you for a reason. Star Renegades. This is a tactical RPG strategy game in which you command members of a rebellion fighting an evil empire. The game focuses on missions which usually consist of battles with intelligent and constantly evolving opponents. Quests are randomly generated, which in combination with the constantly evolving enemies makes the game a little different each time you play. It gets more challenging and death is something inevitable. The members of your team form friendships and even deeper relations which can result in a child. He or she will join your ranks as another unique character, so you can literally breed more heroes here. Breed, yeah, that's the right word. Plague Tale Requiem. After escaping your devastated homeland, you will travel far south to new regions and various forsaken cities. There you attempt to start a new life and control Hugo's curse. Yeah, the kid is cursed, but you, instead of dropping him into the ocean and forgetting which ocean it was, you travel with him. You know, no Hugo, no problems, but you chose problems. So everything that happens from now on is basically your fault. So when Hugo's powers reawaken, oh surprise, surprise, death and destruction return in a flood of devouring rats you probably all know from the first part of this beautiful game. Forced to flee once more, you place your hopes in a prophesized island that may hold the key to saving Hugo. The game will let you know the price of saving those you love in a desperate struggle for survival, and you ain't gonna like it. You will strike from the shadows or unleash hell, overcoming foes and challenges with a variety of weapons, tools, and unearthly powers. People on Steam are talking that this game will make you cry, mostly because of the story, but a tear or two will also drop when you realize that the game is super slow and your movement speed is even slower. Despite that, Plague Tale Requiem has about 90% of positive reviews, and if you like story-rich adventure games, it's a must-play sooner or later. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. This is a massive, challenging action RPG that drops you into a vast open world full of interesting characters and creatures. The game is made by Capcom, a Japanese company, but the whole setting of Dragon's Dogma is European. So you may think maybe because of that this game features some ridiculous moments, but Capcom was really serious about the job. They went all around Europe to actually get a lot of information, especially for the backgrounds and environments in the Dragon's Dogma. They looked at architecture and buildings and things of that nature, and also just natural environments as well. Also took many pictures and tried to recreate those as closely as possible. Well, a bunch of Japanese people in Europe taking pictures? Who could have thought? Anyway, developers actually did a lot of research in Europe that helped to recreate stuff in-game, and that level of dedication is truly admirable. Dragon's Dogma has more strategy and more dynamic fights than usual action RPG games. You know, you can climb monsters here, and that is super cool. Also, it's a tougher game in general, but if you like to explore the open world and love fantasy games, you can't ignore it. Gamers are talking that this is an underrated gem and is a must-play for every open-world RPG fan. Borderlands 3. You'll blast through weird worlds and enemies as one of 4 world hunters, the ultimate treasure-seeking badasses of the Borderlands, each with deep skill trees, abilities and customization. So in this looter-shooter RPG you will play solo or join the battle with friends to take on an epic enemies, score loads of loot and save your home from the most ruthless cult leaders in the galaxy. With bazillions of guns and gadgets, every fight is an opportunity to score new gear, and that gear is more than crazy. Firearms with self-propelling bullet shields? Check. Rifles that spawn fire-spewing volcanoes? Obviously. Guns that grow legs and chase down enemies while cursing? Yeah, got that too. On Steam, Borderlands 3 is an owner of very positive reviews, so it's a no-brainer if you like shoot and loot. Just grab the game and be happy. Make your enemies unhappy by making them die. Resident Evil 4. 6 years have passed since the biological disaster in Raccoon City. You are one of the survivors of the incident, and you have been sent to rescue the president's kidnapped daughter. You track her to a secluded European village where there is something terribly wrong with the locals. They all put pineapple into potato salad. I'm kidding, of course, nothing that horrifying. Those people are just crazy. You know, they want to kill you, mutilate your body and then do something else with it. What a nice place to be, you know? So you will be living this nightmare and you will do your best trying to survive. People are saying that after playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, it was hard to hope that anything can be that level of awesomeness, but Resident Evil 4 does miracles. Players are saying that this remake is just excellent, and you know, I can only agree, this game is awesome. Jupiter Hell. Here time flows only when you act, just like in the famous Superhot, although Jupiter Hell is a turn-based roguelike game where you get to kick demon butt on a space station. The retro graphics and creepy audio design create an atmosphere that's scarier than your mother-in-law when she's missing her favorite spoon for potato salad. And the gameplay is as tough as the steak you make. Yeah, the roguelike genre is here for a reason. You will die and die again until you do not die, and then repeat. But keep in mind that with a ton of weapons and abilities to choose from, you can mix and match until you find the perfect combo for yourself. And sure, the game can be unforgiving, but that's what makes it fun. Who needs a therapist when you can scream at your monitor and blame the game for all the mistakes you made in your life that literally lead you to playing this game? Although the game itself is very nice, more than 90% of reviews on Steam are positive. Syberia: The World Before. Game consists of 2 parts. In the first one you will play as a girl who is beginning a brilliant career as a pianist. However, shadows begin to appear over her future at the dawn of the Second World War, and the next part of the story will take action to a year of 2004, where you will play as the girl imprisoned in the salt mine. A tragic event propels her into a new adventure in search of her identity. So you'll play in both timelines and explore a fantastic and poetic world with its amazing sceneries. One thing I can say for sure, this game is beautiful. Of course, not as beautiful as you, my friend, but still looking very good. The art direction is at the top level, and it alone should spike your interest in this adventure game with a great story, especially if you like to solve some complicated puzzles and not crack hardest riddles. Oh yeah, sadly the game is not for the weak, it will squeeze your brain power quite well, and all that is accompanied with a symphonic soundtrack composed by Isonzo. You probably know his tracks from Syberia 3, Fallout, Dragon Age and Prince of Persia. Also on Steam you can try the free demo version. Aliens Fireteam Elite. Have you ever wanted to be a protagonist in the Alien movie? Well, I doubt that, I really do. And if yes, what is wrong with you? Anyway, here, after so many fear-infused hours in Alien Isolation, you can finally get some revenge on these terrifying creatures. You will kill hundreds of them, so it's nothing like the movies. Although it's really fun to play if you have a friend or two. You can play in single player as well, but I assure you that if you want full experience, you will have to find some friends. I know that may be mission impossible, but you can try anyway. You don't need real friends, all you need is some Discord channel with the same-minded people. So here you'll be exploring some friendly planet filled with friendly fauna and live in harmony all together. Except you don't. This game is a carnage where you will have to battle through hordes of different types of xenomorph, customize your character and gear, and level up as you try to contain this ever-growing threat. I especially like the diversity of enemies in this game, they really took their time to create some nasty monsters. The game itself is basically Left 4 Dead just with aliens. I think it's great, and 81% of Steam reviews are also positive. Isonzo. This is a World War I game based on the Italian front. Inspired by the 2-year struggle for control of the Isonzo River Valley and the Alps, the game will lead you across stunning landscapes as you choose your path to victory. Cut your way through barbed wire, flank your enemies by following mountain trails, or man a mortar to blast a way through. Shape a dynamic battlefield by laying sandbags and wire, placing ammo crates, deploying trench periscopes or sniper shields. Fight with more than 30 unique weapons, survive poisonous gas attacks and intense artillery barrages. People on Steam are saying that mostly here you will run up the hill for 20 minutes and then you die. Somehow that is still a fun experience. The game is a proud owner of a very positive review score, so no tricks here. Jack Move. This RPG is a unique blend of gritty cyberpunk storytelling, turn-based battles and beautiful modern pixel art. Here you will become a vigilante hacker. When the overreaching mega-corporation kidnaps your father, you have no choice but to get him back, before it's too late. I don't know, too late for what exactly? Let's hope for the worst. You know, to spice things up a little. So you have a lot of questions. Why was your father researching digitized consciousness? What does this corporation wants to do with it? What is the purpose? Why? When? With who? And finally...
Very nice, how much?
So all these questions circle in your head and only you can answer them by, you know, getting the answers. Most of the time by force. Anyway, the campaign will take around 6 hours to finish and the review score on Steam revolves around 80%, which is not bad. Sable. Here you'll embark on a unique and unforgettable journey and guide Sable through her gliding, which is a rite of passage that will take you across vast deserts and mesmerizing landscapes capped with the remains of spaceships and ancient wonders. You'll explore the dunes on your hoverbike, scale monumental ruins and encounter other nomads as you unearth mysteries long forgotten and discover what you're hiding behind your mask. The game is single player only and you can already see that it is a work of art. There is a lot in this world just waiting to be discovered and explored. People on Steam are talking that the game is a little bit similar to the Breath of the Wild. The world is open and the amount of quests here won't let you get bored. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you're used to old-school Assassin's Creed games, keep in mind that Odyssey isn't like the first titles, and among your enemies you will encounter various monsters and mythological beings from legends, like Medusa for example. The game really has some witchery vibes. Here you'll also have weapons with supernatural abilities like increased strength or the ability to instantly knock out an opponent's shield. So here you'll explore ancient Greece, from lush vibrant forests to volcanic islands and bustling cities, and start a journey in a world shaped by gods and men. Here decisions will impact how your Odyssey unfolds. You can play through multiple endings thanks to the dialogue system and the choices you make. Customize your gear, ship and special abilities to become a legendary assassin. People on Steam are praising smooth mechanics and great visuals, although the story is like your cousin, a bit dull and naive. And now thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.